Friends, myself Siddharth Chauhan. Welcome to Easy MedChem. Today's part of the video will be covering about the defects which are formed during the development of pharyngeal arches, pharyngeal grooves and the pharyngeal pouches. So let's continue this. The defects. The first one is the neural tube defect. The neural tube defect, it is due to the incomplete closure of the neural tube due to the low maternal level of folic acid. We know that for the complete fusion of for the complete development of the neural tube, the folic acid is required. But if the folic acid is low in the maternal blood, there is incomplete fusion or incomplete closure of the neural tube, due to which the spina bifida is caused. There are in general the three types of spina bifida: the spina bifida oculata, the spina bifida meningocele, and the spina bifida myelomeningocele. The spina bifida oculata is least serious and most common. Most of the types of spina bifida are the oculata. It is not that much serious and it is more common. Whereas the meningocele, it is due to the covering of the spinal cord passed backward through the opening in the spine. So there are covering in the spinal cord that we know that it is a pia mater, dura mater and the arachnoid. These coverings will get passed back throughout the opening in the spine. This condition is called the meningocele, or this type is a spina bifida meningocele. There is another type of the spina bifida, that is a myelomeningocele. With the pass back of the covering of the spinal cord is also enclosed in the cyst. So it is called the myelomeningocele. It is more dangerous than the meningocele and it is more common oculata. So the most dangerous is the myelomeningocele, then it comes the meningocele, and then it comes the oculata. So the neural tube defect is due to the incomplete closure of the neural tube due to the low maternal level of the folic acid. Due to this, the spina bifida is caused. There are in general the three types of spina bifida. The spina bifida oculata, which is not that much serious and it is more common. The second type is the spina bifida meningocele. It is due to the pass back or of the covering of the spinal cord throughout the spine. If the spinal cord is enclosed in the cyst, then it is called the myelomeningocele, which is more dangerous. The second type of defect is the first arch syndrome. We know that there are in 5 types of pharyngeal arches. The first pharyngeal arch, due to the abnormal development of the first pharyngeal arch, the first arch syndrome is caused due to the failure of migration of neural crust cells into the arch during the 4th week of development. If the neural crust cells which are formed during the formation of the neural tube, if these neural crust cells will not migrate towards the first pharyngeal arch in the 4th week of development, the first arch syndrome is caused. Due to this, the two types of defects are the Teachers-Collins syndrome and the Perry-Robin syndrome. The Teachers-Collins syndrome and the Perry-Robin syndrome are caused due to the incomplete fusion or the in abnormal development of the first pharyngeal arch, or it is a type of first arch syndrome. The Teachers-Collins syndrome, in this syndrome the person is having a normal intelligence. So we have to remember that it is not that much clear that the person is having a normal intelligence. The Perry-Robin syndrome, in this condition the palate is cleft, there is a retrognathia and the glossopteris. The genetic anomalies on the chromosome number 2nd, 11th and 17th. So due to the abnormal development of the first pharyngeal arch, the first arch syndrome is caused, due to which the Teachers-Collins syndrome and the Perry-Robin syndrome is developed. The third type of defect is the DeGeorge syndrome. The DeGeorge syndrome is also due to the failure of migration of the neural crust cells in the 3rd or the 4th pharyngeal pouches. So these are in the pharyngeal pouches, 3rd and the 4th pharyngeal pouches. If the neural crust cells will not migrate towards the 3rd and the 4th pharyngeal pouches, the DeGeorge syndrome is caused. In this syndrome, the infants are born without the thymus and the parathyroid. If the infants are born without the thymus or the parathyroid, that infants are the immunodeficient. So we have to remember that the person with this defect are immunodeficient, because the thymus and the parathyroid glands are not formed here. Due to the that the thymus is not formed here, the persons are immunodeficient. So this is the de George syndrome. The anencephaly. The next type of defect is the anencephaly. It is due to the incomplete closure of neural tube in the incomplete formation of the brain. So in this condition, the brain is not formed completely. So it is called the anencephaly. It is due to the increased alpha fetoprotein and the polyhydramines. What are alpha fetoproteins? The polyhydramines are the increased amount of the amniotic fluid. If the increased amount of amniotic fluid is there, there is the incomplete closure of the neural tube, that the incomplete formation of brain will occur. This condition is called the anencephaly. The next type of defect is the branchial cyst defect. It is due to the remnant part of the third and second and the third pharyngeal groove that did not closed completely and later becomes fluid filled at the level of the sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this is the branchial cyst. The next type of defect is the hydrocephaly. The hydrocephaly is the accumulation of the cerebrospinal fluid. We know that the cerebrospinal fluid are formed in the ventricles of the brain and the subarachnoid space. So these cerebrospinal fluid will get accumulated there. Why the cerebrospinal fluid will get accumulated? It is due to the closure of the cerebral aqueduct or sylvian duct, the foramen of Luschka, or it might be that the foramen of Magendie is closed. The cerebral granulation, it is also called as a arachnoid granulation. If these foramens or the granulations are closed, the cerebrospinal fluid will get accumulated in the ventricles and the subarachnoid space. In the hydrocephaly, the head size or the head circumference will get increased, isn't it? So this condition is the hydrocephaly. The next type of defect is the Dandy-Walker's malformation. In the Dandy-Walker's malformation, the fourth ventricle will get dilated. In the Dandy-Walker's malformation, the fourth ventricle will get dilated. It is called the hypoplasia of the cerebellum, due to which if the fourth ventricle is get dilated, the cerebellum will get pressed from the backside. Failure of opening of foramen of Luschka and the Magendie to open, isn't it? If these Luschka and the Magendies are not opened, the fourth ventricle will get dilated, and due to which it will press the cerebellum from the backside. This condition is called the Dandy-Walker's malformation. Complete absence of the vermis. There might be a condition that the vermis is completely absent here. The slow motor development, because the cerebellum is get affected here, or it is getting pressed from the fourth ventricle, the motor development is slow here due to the taking of warfarin during the pregnancy. If somehow the mother is taking a warfarin during the pregnancy, the Dandy-Walker malformation will get occur also. The syringomelia. The next type of defect is a syringomelia. The syringomelia is nothing but a cavity which is formed within the spinal cord. If we see a cavity within the spinal cord, that condition or that pathology is called the syringomelia. Loss of ability to feel extremes of hot or cold, especially in the hands. In this syringomelia, the person has lost his ability to feel extremes of hot and cold, especially in the hands. The syringomelia can be acquired or it can be congenital also. So that's all for the defects. We'll be continuing about the next section of the video with the next topic. So do like, share and subscribe my channel and press bell icon for more notification. And please guys do comments also. Thank you. Please like, share and subscribe Easy Medichem and press bell icon for more notification.